Hello, YouTube world. Thanks for tuning in. Today we have another video, which is called Walt Disney and Company. As we all are familiar, Walt Disney is a movie production which involve all types of different kind of movies, scripts, and all kind of like stream services. I decided to do this stock because, there was a lot of things going on between different individuals. And it seems like now this stock has found its way to come back to where it needs to be. And they're going for $114.27 a share. And then honestly, they're up 0.80%. And they do pay a dividend yield of 0.88. So let's dive right into it. Again, we look for gray signs, early signs. Green is to buy, red is to sell. And again, anything that is, we focus on this line right here, right there in the middle. Anything above the 114.10 is exactly what we want to see. The buying power is right here, and the profit is all the way up here in this profit margin. Now, it doesn't necessarily go all the way down past this middle line, but we will definitely take a look to see, what happens. Let's see how it looks for the rest of the week. And as you can see, it has a lot of promise. It takes a little small dip in this area, but pay attention, because the buying power is right down here, and it shoots all the way up past the 113 mark. And we definitely want this stock to go cheaper than 114. Because the cheaper the stock, or the cheaper the stock price, on the more shares that we can potentially buy. And so for the rest of the week, you see right here, it's above this middle line that I love to preach, because that's how exactly where we want to pay attention to. Now, let's see, for the rest of the month, there's about a week left in this month. Right here is where the dip is very major. And also, the reason why, dips even do happen is because, people may not be buying, the stock, or people may not be buying these subscription fees. And so it causes it to go down in this area right here. And I mean, you can hold for the long term, but if you want to try to make any profit, the best time to sell this stock would be right here. So let's take a look to see what it looks like, even for the next 3 months. I never really cared for, this particular stock because, you never know. You can go to the movies to see a Walt Disney movie, or you can just watch at home. And so, basically what we want to look for is this major dip that happens right here. You see that major dip, and it falls all the way down, and it doesn't even have enough strength or enough buying power to make it past this middle line. So what ends up happening is it kind of stagnant, stays right here, and it takes another dip. You see, I'm no financial advisor, but it's just more so just have a understanding of what this particular stock is doing. Okay, so for the next 6 months, even for the next 6 months, you see, quite a bit of a change, in which is good. You see, the buying power is right here, and it shoots all the way up. Now, this whole area right here is what you want to call your profit margin, right? And the stock again is around 103 at that particular time. And always remember, green is to buy, red is to sell. You see? So let's take a look to see what it looks like for the rest of the year. And as you can see, sometime by the end of the year, this is all your profit margin. You see? Reason being is because the buying power is right here, and it goes above this middle line right there. Always pay attention to this middle line, you see, because this middle line tells you everything. The buying power is right here, and it goes all the way up past the 114. And as long as it does that, this is pretty much all of your profit margin, right? It do take a little journey towards this way. A slight dip in this area, but at the same time, when the buying power is right here, it shoots all the way up. And this again right here is your buying power, is your profit. There's not exactly no pull or no bull market at this time, but green is to buy, red is to sell. You see. So for the next 2 year, even for the next 2 year margin, right? These are all predictions. All this up and down it's really nothing, because like I said, anything could be going on. The dividends payout, subscription fees not really being paid, but at the same time, this middle line right here is the only thing you need to pay attention to. That's the only thing that really matters, right? Because the buying power is right here, all in this area, is the buying power. That's why you see the green. Even when it takes a small dip in this corner, the buying power is still tremendous, right? It's still good. And it goes all the way up from here. It goes all the way up from there to right here. And this is the profit margin that you want, anything above the 102. But always look at the graph, top and bottom. You see, always look at the graph, top and bottom, and pay attention to that line right there. You see, another buying power is right here, and then it shoots all the way up past this profit margin, and it keeps going all the way up. Even though Walt Disney sometimes it has a lot of ups and downs, but generally is a pretty well stock to have in your stock portfolio. Now, let's see, for the next 5 years, it does take somewhat of a hit, because we got a lot of tariffs and different things like that also. But the dip comes right here, and we all wanted to lower the price. The dip happens because the stock can get a little bit expensive, but when the dip comes, it lowers the stock price, in which that we do want. It lower it all the way down to, I believe, 108, $108, and that's we want to buy at its low, but sell at its high. Buy at its low, but sell at its high. And what I mean by sell, show you a quick example. Buy at its low, sell at its high. Buy at its low, sell at its high. You see, buy it when it's low, and then you can't sell it when it's high. That's all it really consists of, just a lot of buy and sell, buy and sell, buy and sell. you can actually hold it right here. After you bought it down here, you can actually hold it still because this is all profit margin right there. You know, green is to buy, red is to sell. This is all profit margin right there. You see? Then even on its way down, right, there's still a lot of profit to be made. You see? There's still a lot of profit to be made. Now, let's take a look for the overall performance. So even if it's 5 years from now, 10 years from now, the overall performance right here, you know, it shows you exactly what to look for. And the buying power is pretty much right here in this area. And it shoots all the way up. You know, this middle line is very, very, very important. You know, because once you go past this middle line, right, it's all profit margin. You see? Anytime you see the the line right here goes below this middle, that's where, you know, the dip happens. That's where you could sell, or that's where you could hold, right? But because the profit margin is green, right, and you know everybody could potentially own Walt Disney. I think they're going for like $9.99 for the subscription fee, right? And I think you get it for a few months free also. And so that's probably the reason why they added different products to your packet. You know, green is to buy, red is to sell, and always pay attention right here, right? There's all kind of, you know, different kind of ways to set up, you know, your computer for like stocks and bonds. Only thing I'm using is the Apple phone, right? The Apple phone, because they have the same kind of app, you know, in your app stores. Well, for the background. So Walt Disney seems to be the stock to pay attention to, you know, because that line right here, and with this green margin, you really can't lose, you see? And also, it does have a dividend yield of 0.88. And, you know, Walt Disney can't go wrong. And big ups to this guy is back, you know. This guy is back. So, yeah. I basically just went, you know, right here. Move this out the way. I basically just went to the you know, to the background app store and just hit Walt Disney, you know, and basically just going over what the market says. Now, between 8:30, 9 o'clock East Coast time, you know, it's the best time to get into the market because everything is open. A lot of things already bought and sold. A lot of things already bought and sold. So real quick, you know, I'll go over real quick, you know, today. You know, it's pretty good margin for profit, right? It's above the 114, and that line is most important. It takes a small dip, but we can see where it goes. But right now, if you have a stock portfolio, it's definitely something to look into. I'll go over it again real fast. Again, right, you see, that line right there is always important. Even if you were to day trade or any kind of setup that you have, green is the most important color, right? Green is to buy, red is to sell. So, one more time for the rest of the month. I think we got like a week so. You know, again, you can sell right here, and it's still a slow profit in this area, but ultimately, the best time to sell is right there because it goes below this middle line and it takes a far dip. But when that happens, 9 times out of 10, the stock price will jump. The stock price will go from 113, and it should go lower during that time. During that time when it takes a dip, you want to buy low. So for 3 months, you know, and Disney they do all kind of movies, right? 3D movies, adult child movies, teenager movies. A lot of careers started from Walt Disney. So this is the selling point right here, because it takes a major dip. I wouldn't even suggest buying right here, right? Because it's not enough um, buying power in this area, So if you were to sell here, collect your profit and just see what happens, right? So for the next 6 months, you could reinvest it into a different stock or what have you, or just continue to invest it in Walt Disney, right? But basically, within 6 months after you sold and rebought your stock, you see, all this is your profit margin. And if you bought down here in this area, right where my thumb is at, you'll see the results. And the results is right there. A lot of green. Green is to buy, red is to sell. And that's no matter what you're doing, no matter what setup you have. Always remember, green is to buy, red is to sell. Let's take a look for the next year. And thanks for tuning in. Thanks for watching. I know everybody is busy, but thanks for tuning in. And again, right, that middle line is always right there. Always what you want to see. Green is to buy, red is to sell. And that's all that the stock market consists of. A lot of ups and a lot of downs. A lot of ups and a lot of downs, right? But the buying power is right there. All that green is your profit margin. Buying power is right here at the bottom. All this green is your profit margin. You see? So the next 2 years, pretty much the same thing. The market does a lot of up and down. Buying power is right here, and then consistency goes all the way up. You could sell right here, but at the same time, it's not about feelings. It's more about having patience, right? And the patience says when it comes to right here, even though it's unpredictable, but give it about 30 minutes to an hour, right? And you can see what it does. It goes all the way back up, then it comes all the way back down. But again, green is to buy, red is to sell. And this middle line right there is a determined factor of if it's going to be profitable or if it's not going to be profitable. And what Walt Disney predicts in 2 years, it could be highly profitable. So let's take a look for the next 5 years. All I try to do is invest. That's all I try to do. And the selling point is right there. It takes a major dip. And you see also this line right here, it just consists of like how low it went. It doesn't really affect anything else, but it's just keep tracks of the lowness that how low it goes. And I'm pretty sure it might jump all the way up. Yeah, you see? So right here is the buying power. It makes a slow jump, another down, another slow jump, but it jumps all the way up past the profitable margin, right? Takes another dip, buying power right there, but it goes all the way up. So this is definitely, a profitable, stock to have in your portfolio. As you can see, green is to buy, red is to sell. You can pretty much hold this wave right here, right? Because it shoots up right there at the bottom, right there, and it shoots up, down and up. So the overall performance, as you can see. Um, and it does take time to get everything together as far as your knowledge and what to look for. It takes a long time, years. Anybody says they got it within a few months, no, they're lying. It takes about a year or two just to understand the basics and the concepts of the terminology and the vocabulary. It do take a little bit of time. And so what I learned is anything above this middle line, once you see the graph, that middle line right here is pretty much above the 94 and underneath the 141. Anything above right here is all profit. You see, and honestly, it's up even 200%. It's up 200%. Let me see. It's up 200%. So this is all pretty good. Unfortunately, I may have to cut this video short. Man, well, for the newcomers, always remember this line right here in the middle. It will differentiate profit or sell, the red, right? Sell red, profit green. And that line right there, that is kind of hard to see, always determines that. And the people too. The people always confirms that too, because we're the ones that's buying the stock, right? And again, boom, it goes down. I would like to say thank you guys so much for tuning in. You guys are always the best. Until next time, keep on investing.